Thank you very much, HWPL and the team. I'm surprised that why this scary subject of life and death has been given to me. It's very scary. Although it is certain, but we do not want to. We can discuss it, but we do not want to confront it, at least. That is the thing. So the thing, if we are scared, we are not ready to confront it, so the true appreciation cannot be done. That is also there. So a person who has to know the real thing, he has to go deeper into it. A doctor or a scientist who has to cure the cancer or the diseases, so he has to come close to it, feel it, and then only he can answer it. Now, as far as Sikhism is concerned, the first question, whether the spirit is eternal or lives or dies, in fact, I didn't want to do that, but sometime earlier I had done it like that, so it was something like this. So the point is that I will put it very, very simply. There are two worlds. One is me and another is my body. These are two different things. I am not my body, or my body is not me. I came into this world, I came into the existence in this world, I, not my body. I came into the existence in this world when I was in the drop of the semen of my father. That was the beginning. The life began. I was there. But later on, it was the nature gave me the body and I am here. But who am I? That is the main question.
ಸ್ವಭಾವ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್?
So the point is that whether I and me, my body is okay, but whether myself or me, I am here, I am in my chest or in my legs, or I am tied around my waist, or I am 10 feet away from my body, controlling my body by remotely. So the purpose of the religion is to know that who that person me is. So three questions have to be asked thereafter. Who am I? If I say I am here, that is wrong. And where I am. And third is that the place where I am today, is that the right thing or I have to move from here? Should I be satisfied? Now this will answer all the questions. As far as the Sikhism says, there are two things, the spirit and the body. The combination of the two makes a human being. Human body is a horse. The soul is the rider. Both have to be very, very strong and efficient. There has to be synchronization and combination of the two. If the rider is strong, the horse is weak, it will not lead you anywhere. But if the horse is strong and the rider is weak, it will throw him away. So the combination of the soul and the body, these are the two simple things. In Guru Granth Sahib it is said, Nanak mer sarir ka ik rath ik rathwa. One is a chariot and another is the one who is riding the chariot. So these are two things but simultaneously. Now that soul, it was a particle, small particle of that ultimate reality. Since everyone may be good, bad, from this region, that region, maybe from different races, we are made of the same material. We have the same characteristics. We have the same traits. We have the same good thing and bad things. We have the same vices and everything is the same. This means we are, the source is one. This itself shows. You go to a very, very illiterate person and go to a very highly qualified person. Just probe them you will see that at the base of it, both have the same vices, wishes, longings, and everything is the same. There is no difference. The same happiness, the same sorrow. So we are coming from one source. Now, what is that? How that life comes into being? It is in the Sikhism, it is said, very simple words, Jab udkark kara kartara, when he wants to expand, everything comes into existence. When the expansion takes place, he takes out everything and the whole creature, the whole creation comes. And second is, Jab akark kart ho kabhu, when he does the contraction, so the everything goes back into it. And this process is not done once. It is not done here on this planet. It is done on billions and billions and billions of planets and times. And again, the same process is continuing. Whenever he expands, everything comes into life. Like the flowers come, the garden blossoms are there. But when it contracts, so the fall comes and everything will go down. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Lamba. That was a very detailed explanation.
The moment we forget the name of the Lord, we forget the Lord, we are away from the Lord, the soul dies. It's a dead soul now. The moment we are with Him, we remember Him, we consider Him to be with us, then it is a living thing. So death and life comes, the soul is in this manner. As far as physical death and physical life is there, the Sikhism has very unique explanation to these two things. It says that the method of being born, method of the way of coming to this earth is same for every human being. Whether he is rich or poor, he is of the very educated or uneducated, he is of the, considers him to be of a higher class or a higher religion or higher anybody, he has to come through the same path. So the coming to this world is from the same route. Now, one has not to be bothered about that. As I had said earlier, the life is there. The purpose of life is to die. Purpose of life is to die. And the purpose of death is to merge back into the Lord. That is the purpose. So, it is immaterial. It is never said that I should be born in this way or that way or some particular way. It is certainly said that you have to ask the Lord that you should die this way. That is a prayer. And a Sikh, you will be surprised, in the morning our prayer is that the Lord give us death. That is our daily prayer. And while going to the bed, the last prayer is that, oh my friends, all my friends and my well-wishers, give me the blessings that I should meet my Lord again. So he is again asking for the death. So purpose is, but if one is, as I had said earlier, that if I have lived a life like that, then I will try to ask for the death, and then it will be most pleasant thing. Second thing is that I may again add that the death is the most beautiful gift that has been given by the God. It's the most beautiful gift that the God can give us. I'm giving you a very simple example. A couple is living in Manhattan in a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom apartment. He is living there. Just imagine, just for a moment, his parents were there, his grandparents were also there, his great-grandparents were also there, and think of 5-6 generations. Will that be a place livable? Can the hell be more, not be more worse than it? So that will be the worst thing on earth, that if that happens. So the death is the most beautiful thing, and secondly, the death is the most beautiful way of the Lord, the gift given to us that allows us to merge back. But again, we have to remember that the fish, it goes back. If you see the life of the fish, it is very interesting. It's a very interesting that the living fish will always swim against the current of the water. That's a nature of the law of the nature. I have seen it myself. It will try to go back into the ocean. The fish dies, it is finished in the process, but it will go back to the source. A living fish will always swim against the current of the water. A dead fish will always swim with the current of the water. The real life is that if we can swim with the current of the water and then we can merge back, that fish will go back into the ocean from where we have come. And even the dead fish, even the ocean will throw it out. Thank you very much.
Yes, that is a very unique point that you have mentioned. And thank you. And I think I do remember when you had mentioned it once before.
Yeah.
It was when you were sitting here last year.
So I was
Yes.
thinking, so still good that you have remembered.
Yes, and I remember the time when you did this as well,
Okay.
and we had to specifically say,
Thank you.
Mr. Lamba, you have to choose one or the other, you can't be in the middle, but yes, thank you, I do remember those times now. Okay. But one thing that was very interesting was, in the Sikh faith, it was mentioned, probably without explanation, many people misunderstand this part about the death that you were mentioning. That it is said that the death is the most beautiful gift from God, and I think that the fish example, the fish in the
It's
street,
very simple, that unless the death is there, unless the cross was there, the cross wasn't there, Christ would not have been able to meet the Lord. Not much back into. That's a very simple thing. So the death is a medium for taking that soul to the ultimate soul. That's very simple. Death is the only medium. Now, if we have done good, we will love death. If we have done otherwise, we will be scared of death. So we daily pray for the death, we remember death. I'll put it simply, there is one great soul. He said that 3 things I have understood. 3 things I have understood, and those are very, very simple thing which has come to my mind. Number 1 is that what is my share in this earth, I have already got that. So I have the contentment is there. Say a child, he has taken his share of candies, so he'll be satisfied. So first is that whatever is my share, I have already got it. Second is that the angel of death, you can call it, whatever you may call it, he is standing at the gate. I can see him. Anytime he may enter. He is just standing at the door. So this, if it is constantly in my mind, so I will definitely be a little bit more cautious to do anything right or wrong. And third thing it says very beautifully, he says the old man about the God or the Lord, he says, he is sitting in the next room. I can see him, he is sitting on a chair. He is constantly staring at me. He is not asking anything, he is not telling anything, but he is constantly staring at me. There is no door, there is no curtain, there is nothing in between. He is always looking at me. How can I do a bad thing? So if these 3 things always are in the mind of a person, then he will not be scared of that.
So,
This was
a person who has to know the real thing, he has to go deeper into it. A doctor or a scientist who has to cure the cancer or the diseases, so he has to come close to it, feel it, and then only he can answer it. Things, the spirit and the body. The combination of the two makes a human being. Human body is a horse, the soul is the rider. Both have to be very, very strong and efficient. There has to be synchronization and combination of the two. If the rider is strong, the horse is weak, it will not lead you anywhere. But if the horse is strong and the yeah, thank you very much. The subject is of life and death. We are evolving around these 2 questions. Now, there may be different views because a thing which has started millions and billions of years ago, a thing which is happening right now in our vicinity, we are not certain that what has happened. If you see the tomorrow's newspapers, for the same thing there may be different versions. So the thing which has happened, the beginning of the life or the beginning of death, there may be different views. Or I may say that there are 4 philosophers, then the 5 viewpoints may be there. So that is a very, very complicated thing. The purpose of the discussion is that we understand that what is it. Nobody can say with certainty that this is right and this is wrong. That is the first thing of the purpose of definition. I can give only the Sikh Sikh perspective of the life and death. As for life, we have briefly seen that what is life and what is death, why the death was born, why the death was created. I think the life was created so that to attain death. It's the other way down. First, the death was created. Death was created and then life came into existence. Even before the life came into existence, the death came into existence. That is why the Sikhism says, Maran likhai, mandal mein hai. We came into this world, first the destiny, the last date was written. It is very certain that it is coming on this day, and that is, we have come on this earth. Now, death, there are 2 views are being given. One is that the body will finish, it will merge back into the earth, sun, fire, everything, that is okay. But after death, the soul, are we to be reborn again? That is another view. Maybe some may have different views, but the view of the Sikhism is very, very different. It's very different. Now, it says that the soul came from that ultimate soul. We are just a small particle of that soul. That ultimate soul put that small particle into the human being. That human being started moving. And if our life had been good, if it had been according to the rules and regulations, then the ultimate thing will be that that soul will merge back into the same soul. That is the completion. It will not die. It will merge back. Now, when we live a good life, and with every good deed, the level of our soul will go up. It is constant. It is not that it is going to happen later on. It is not the false promise or the promises that it will happen. It's you can do it practically. You think something bad, you think something nasty, you think something dirty, immediately you will feel that the level of your soul is coming down. Instant. It is an instant reaction. The person knows it. And if you think good of something, somebody, try, even if you don't help, try to see that he can be helped. You will see that that level will go up. And I may add here, it's not irrelevant but very interesting, and when the soul will start going up, it is very difficult to keep it constantly going up. But when a stage will come, and that stage is very difficult because the soul, the gravitational forces of the vices are so strong, it will try to pull it back. But if once you cross that orbit, then it will float. It will not even like to come in the company of the bad people, the bad ideas, the bad things. It will float. And then it will keep on going up and up and up. And now my point is, which is very relevant, the whole thing is, when the level of your soul is confronting the ultimate soul, both are in front each other, confronting each other, when that stage comes, what will happen? My soul would like to merge back, will try to mate with the ultimate soul. When 2 human beings meet, then they would not like to have even the thinnest of the cloth in between. When that stage comes, that soul would like to tear off the cloth of the body. It will try to merge back. Then the body will become an obstacle between mating between my soul and the ultimate soul. That is the stage when Christ can be on the cross and be happy, if I have done that. So there is a saying, does the man knows his future? Yes. Certain things he knows, certain things he does not know. Certain things he does not know, that what will happen in the next generations or the next births, or what has happened previous births. But one thing he may know, I certainly know that the things which I have done, the way I have lived my life, I know that certainly what is going to happen with me, and death is very scary for me. Thank you very much.